あなたの場合はバンドの中では歌詞を主に担当してますよね。でその書いてる詩はどれもネガティブというかペシミスティックというか、そういう感じがするんですけど、この先これが変わっていくってことはありますか？
No, I think they'll get worse.
よりひどくなるだろうと。
I think, the whole, the first world, its suffering is very self-indulgent. There's no reason to be unhappy, but I think everybody feels that melancholia quite regularly.
その知らず知らずに、自己嫌悪に陥るみたいな言い方を今なさいましたけども、それはやっぱり今まであなたが歩んできた人生がそうさせるっていうことですか？
I think there's just something that you just feel is missing from your life. I think it's very difficult to trust people, very difficult to find any real emotion. I mean, my father is really, really happy, and his standard of living when he was my age was nothing compared to mine. And yet, I sit in my house and I moan and complain, and he just doesn't understand. And I don't know why, but it's just the way our generation is, I suppose.
イギリスという国の社会がそう思わせるということでもあると。
I think so. I think in England it's so decaying. There's no real idols or heroes anymore. The only thing people cling to is the past. And in Europe right now, England is desperately trying not to be part of the EEC. And it's got every reason why it should be, but it's got this overblown idea that it's still important, that it still matters in the world. And it's it could be, a third world country, it just doesn't matter to any fucker. I think so, and I think if you look at the last decade, most English bands have had no real impact on the rest of the world. It's always just been, basically American bands. And it says a lot about, the Americanization of world culture. I think when we went shopping in Tokyo yesterday, and almost every shop was just full of, vintage American paraphernalia, I think the whole world is just being sanitized by, American banality.
アメリカナイズというと、イギリスのワイルドハーツっていうバンドがね、ターニングアメリカンという曲の中で、ブリティッシュロックはかつて映画を誇っていたけれども、今じゃもうすっかりアメリカの方ばっかり向いているというふうに嘆いていますよね。結構それ面白いなと私なんか思ったんですけども、あなた自身はどうですか？
No, I mean, I like the Wild Hearts, but I think, again, it's that classic English disease of thinking England was once great and now it's gone wrong. I mean, if you're in control of your own destiny, if you make good music, you make good music. If not, that song seems to me like it's saying, England used to be good, so it's always got to be good. And I think you just got to judge music on, what it is. You just got to judge a culture on what it produces. There's no point in saying that England was once, an exciting place to be. If it's not anymore, it's not anymore. I think maybe a band like the Smiths were more relevant than the Wild Hearts just because they talked about the general malaise and decay of the culture rather than celebrating its glory.
そういうあなたが子供の頃聴いてたロックと今とロックとになんか違いみたいなものは感じますか？
I think the problem with most English rock bands is that they won the bottle of Jack Daniels before they write a song. They won the leather trousers before the lyrics. And, for us, music and words came first, and everything else was secondary.
ではあなた方は今のキッズにとってどういう存在だと思いますか？
It's always difficult to judge. I think as long as there's one person in the audience every night, or one person that buys the album that understands us, that's enough for us. I know there's a lot of people in England that buy records just because they hear on the radio, they think it's a good song, they go and they play it for a couple of days and that's as far as it goes. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who just play on music, constantly, every day, just like we used to do with our favourite records. And as long as they don't go away, we're quite happy to stay in a band.
マニックスはここまで非常に音楽的な面で順調に成長してきたなと私は思うんですけども、今後はどういうふうに成長していきたいですか？
Is to write a song like Motorcycle Emptiness, but make it 3 minutes long, to make it more simple, more economical with words, more accessible, more easier to understand. That's what we're trying to do.
まあ、リッチーから最後のような一言が出ると僕は思わなかったんですけども、まあ、彼が言った「モーターサイクルエンプティネス」っていう曲はね、まあ、日本で逸話があって、車の CM ソングに使おうという話もあったんですけども、歌詞があまりに否定的すぎてですね、自動車会社からちょっと曲はいいんですけどやめましょうってことになったってやるんですけどね。